You gotta be firm in this time, son. You gotta be strong in this time, son. I'm a survivor. I will survive. I will survive. And I'm a firm believer. We'll forever shine just to stay alive. That simple means it. Nobody can hold me, man. Nobody can change my energy. Nobody can tell me sick. I will let alone negativity. Nobody can hold me, man. Nobody can change my energy. Nobody can. Nobody can. Everybody show me some strength. No weakness. Show me a lion come. Strength. No weakness. Show them who we are. Strength. No weakness. Show me a lion come. Everybody's strength. No weakness. Show them who we are. Not when you're old. Your enemies, they must tremble. Your enemies, they must tremble. Yo, not when you're old. Everything has to humble. Everything has to humble. I'm a go-getter. That simple means it. Nobody can hold me, man. Nobody can change my energy. Nobody can tell me sick.
Welcome to the ride, guy. Welcome to the ride. Welcome to the ride. As you're coming, go ahead and share up the thing. This is a late edition of Ride Along for today. We're going to be dealing with two specific issues along the same topic. And I'm going to be giving you some latest update and my opinion on this ruling today. All right, so guys, there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to digest. I'm going to put all of these things into perspective for you, talking about what happened, what transpired over the past couple days as it relates to the 54-year-old pharmacist that was charged, 18 charges, incest, sexual assault, just a list of charges. We're gonna go to the charges. What does it mean? What in real term? What does the charges mean? Right. We're gonna talk about that. Also, we'll speak about what transpired today and what the victim and the families involved. What are they feeling? What are they saying? What's the public talking about? We're going to touch on this thing, guys, and it's a lot. It's a lot. So go ahead and share up the program, and let's have this conversation. It's a late edition of Ride Along for today. So as you're coming, go ahead and share up the program. Share it, and let us talk. Everybody share. Same vibe. Share it on a page. Let me do that as well. Ah, boy. If all you're upset, all you have reasons to be upset. I tell you that. If all you're upset, I can't blame all you. I can't blame nobody for feeling upset right now, especially with the system and how it works, how it's working. I can't blame all you. I can't blame all you. Huh. Guys, as you come and go ahead and share up the thing. Share it up. Share it up. Before we speak, let's get all our viewers inside. Let's get everybody locked on. Because it's not our regular scheduled time, so we want to make sure that everyone still get an opportunity to watch and participate in this discussion, this late edition of Ride Along discussion. And we're going to go on for like about 45 minutes, probably less, right? Yeah, we're going to go on for like about 45 minutes or so. Patrice, how are you doing? Lacey J. Who else we have? Lydia. Yeah, all right. So guys, let me bring it up to perspective for you, right? I know you guys been very locked on and in tune with a story that we broke. Mosquito jet. I know who the mosquito representing. Right, I know you guys have been very in tune with this topic that we have been talking about for the whole week. But if you haven't, let me just summarize it for you. On Sunday of last week, we broke the story. You guys know the story already, relating to a case that has been going on for probably about 12, 13 years or so. It involved a young girl, um, and every time I speak, I try as much as to divert attention from that particular incident that everyone is talking about, that the RGPF charged for incest, but instead talk about the broad aspect of it, because there are multiple victims in this similar case. But anyway, we got lead that this was happening. We published the post, blur the pictures in about 2-3 hours after Mr. now known, well, they say stop calling him Mr. Lawrence Bell was arrested for the charges of 18, currently 18 charges. 18 charges. Let me go to the charges for you. He was charged with 9 cases of incest, 5 cases of sexual assault, and 4 cases of indecent assault. All right. Those charges was first. Well, it was initially put down on about, I think it was on Monday. I think Monday from the magistrate court in St. George's. Following those charges, we had his accountant, Mr. Clouden. No, sorry, I'm all messed up, guys. His lawyer, Mr. Clouden, who spoke on the matter and talk about how it was the prosecution, they was unprepared to deal with the matter in the court, so it had to be pushed back to St. David's Court, which it was held today, right? But in reports that we're hearing, it wasn't even sent to the St. David's Court. It was sent back to St. George's. But let me give you guys the finale of what transpired today. I have the clip. I'm going to play the clip for you. And this was a clip from GBN earlier today as it referenced what transpired earlier. Listen to this. This is the clip from GBN earlier today.
Lawrence Bell has been placed on $150,000 bail with 2 sureties. All offenses for which Bell is being charged are bailable offenses. Bell has been charged with 18 counts of sexually related offenses, 9 incest, 5 sexual assaults, and 4 indecent assaults. Bell first appeared before the St. George's Magistrates Court on Monday, however was not able to secure bail and was remanded to Her Majesty's Prison until Thursday, July 15th. Representing attorney Anselm Clouden explained that the provisional adjournment to St. David's Magistrates Court did not materialize and was brought back to St. George's. Clouden explained Bell's bail conditions.
He was successful today in being admitted to bail in the sum of $150,000 with 2 sureties. He's to report every Wednesday to the St. David's police station. He's not to interfere with witnesses. He's to stay away from the victim and all those who are closely related to the victim. He cannot communicate with third parties that can communicate with the victim, or else he'd be brought back and bail would be revoked. So,
Bell is due back in court on October 15th. Public officers will have...
Yeah, so that was earlier today, and that news bulletin was compliments GBN. Guys, let me tell you, my head hurting me all this evening. This whole evening, guys, I really couldn't function or think straight because I've been getting a lot of calls. I've been getting a lot of calls from people who are very close to the story that are that are not going to sleep tonight. Let's put it like this. They're not going to sleep tonight comfortable. They are in a sense of state of shock, disbelief that this transpired here today. There are a lot of people who are closely related to the story as well. They are fearful because as to what one person told me, this man is a person that they deem as unsuspecting, someone in a high position, and someone that they think they have to be on the lookout for because of the type of person that they think he is. So right now, a lot of people, because of this case and this man getting bailed today over these 18 charges, 9 cases of incest, 4 cases of sexual assault, he is right now in bail. He's out free on certain condition, and they are fearful. So my head is kind of not in a good place right now, guys. In fact, after I said I was going to do this program earlier, I thought that I shouldn't do it because what I wanted to say, it probably would have not come out right, but I took a little time and I calmed a little bit. So what I want to do today on this particular program is to get your reaction to this. You, the viewers, you, the people who have been following it, you, the people who have been integrally a part of this discussion right here. I want to get some of your reaction today. 18 charges, 9 cases of incest. Five cases of sexual assault and 4 cases of indecent assault. Somebody help me to understand. Somebody help me to understand this. And while you're at it, help me to understand, why is this a success? Why is this a great day for the for team? Why is it a applaudable moment, a high five moment for people, when it's like the whole neighborhood now is fearful of what this man could potentially do? How is it that bail could be granted for these kind of crimes? These kind of crimes, especially against our young children. Now, the problem is a systemic problem, and we keep saying that, right? The problem is a systemic problem. There should never, ever, ever be bail. These offenses should never be bailable. These offenses should not be bailable, first and foremost, because it just all wrong send the wrong message to want to be perpetrators, sitting there saying, well, it's just a slap on the wrist. Yeah, man, they're like nothing. You go, you mess with a child, you damage her life for the rest of her life. She'll never be straight again. She'll never be able to focus again until she is, until for the rest of the days that she live. But that's okay. You could put him on bail. It's no problem. It's no biggie. And the predators and the pedophiles, they're hearing the message loud and clear, you know, because it keep happening and it keep happening and it keep happening. Think about this, right? If you were to do something, you in your parents' house or wherever, and you do something, and you get a little slap on the wrist, or you You really get no kind of repercussion for something that you did. You know, it was just like a regular day and nothing happened. It was just fine. It was okay. Would that deter you from doing it again? Would that deter you from doing it again? Or would it send a message to others who planning to do this that they shouldn't do something like that? No. And we see it. Let me show you something. A story we posted earlier today. Case in point. And this one is from a bus conductor. James Robert, 26-year-old bus conductor of Hermitage St. Patrick, has been charged for the indecent assault against a 4-year-old minor. Is these kind of things, when these wannabe perpetrators and the wannabe pedophiles and the alleged pedophiles and the pedophiles to be that sitting and watching that, they understand that you get a slap on the wrist, you get bail, and he's going to be reappearing in October. So from now until October sometime, I mean you could imagine, right? He's out in the community. This is just sending the wrong message, and it's creating a culture that it seems like we're not really serious about fixing. It's like we're telling the victims, your story don't really matter, your life don't matter. Let me get your point of view on this, guys, because I said that I really wanted to hear your voices. I want to hear your voices on this topic right here. 718-701-5720. Call me up and let us talk about this situation right here. This story, Antonia said it right. First and foremost, the laws has to be fixed. The laws have to be fixed. Sorry. The laws have to be fixed. These type of crimes should never be a crime that you should be able to be bailable. Point blank simple. It's not deterring anybody. And worse yet, most of these perpetrators of this crime, a lot of them, because they are in high position, they have real connects, it's quite possible that this case could possibly be turned over. It's very possible that this could happen in this case right here. And I just hoping and pray for the sake of the sanity for all involved, all the victims involved, that justice prevail for them. Because essentially what you're saying is that your life don't matter, your story don't matter. What happened to you, it doesn't matter. Your life don't worth anything. Your life ain't worth nothing. That is a message that is sending to the victims of these crimes. I want you guys to call. I want you guys to talk. I want you guys to call me up, guys, right now. 718-701-5720. Let me hear your voice on this case right here. We learned earlier today that Mr. Lawrence Bell, 18 charges. We learned that today he's out on bail, $150,000 bail. He is not to speak or communicate with the victim, his family members. He is to report to the St. David's police station every Wednesday at a particular time. But is that enough? Is that a slap in the face to the victims who pour out their heart and write their stories and live that life and continue to live that life? A lot of them right now is suicidal. A lot of them would never be right in their head. They would forever be sick from what allegedly happened to them. For legal purposes, we have to still use the term alleged. But a lot of people already know what transpired. This has not been happening from yesterday. This has been happening from a long, long time. And people know what has been happening. The victims, I feel it for them. The victims of these cases tonight, their hearts are heavy. And I hope that doesn't deter them from going full on with the case. I hope there's no interference of this case, because as his lawyer said it, the man is a big man in the community. The man is a big man in the community. 718-701-5720. I want you guys to call. I want you guys to talk to me. I want you guys to talk to me. I want you guys to talk. I'm seeing a lot of chatter in the chat room, but I want you guys to call in live and let us talk on the live. I want you guys to call in 718-701-5720. 718-701-5720.
I will survive, I will survive, and I'm a firm believer.
You know, I think that we need to hold elected officials and politicians feet to the fire, right? And say to them a very loud message that unless and until you're not going to fix the laws that consider the victim more than the pedophiles, unless you change the law to take away bail from these assaults and incest charges, you ain't getting our votes. Probably then they will start to listen. It's probably then they will start to really take in the seriousness of this, because the laws could the laws could be changed, you know, and I don't think it takes there is no opposition to contest that. The truth and the fact is, cases involving child molestation should not be bailable. And probably we could get a legal perspective, and next week we're going to dedicate some of the time to bring in a few lawyers to give us an understanding as to why these charges are bailable in Grenada. But it's upsetting. It's upsetting. It's upsetting to a lot of people. It's upsetting to a lot of people. I got a call earlier today, guys, and the individual was literally in tears. In tears. Because they're saying, so what? All this information that was given, all this serious information that was given to let the investigators know, to let them know how scared I am to be in the midst of this man and the people that he connects with. All this information that they took from me and others, it didn't mean anything when I told them that I was scared for my own life. That meant absolutely nothing. I see a lot of chatter. I don't see anyone calling. I want you guys to call and put your voice on the record. Otherwise, everybody go say, all you're scared to talk. All you're hiding behind all your keyboard bandit. I don't want nobody to say, right along have keyboard bandit. I want all you to put all your voice on record. Call the number and let us talk about this right now. If we don't talk, if we don't speak, if we don't articulate that this is a problem and is a culture, then nothing going to be done about it. And we're seeing it and we continue to see it. Look at this case earlier today. A 26-year-old bus conductor of Hermitage St. Patrick had been charged for incest. It's like every minute, it's like every day, it's like every minute of the day, there is another one. There is another one. And there is another one. And here is another one. Nothing deterring pedophiles. Nothing deterring them. And to make it worse, what transpired today is, to me, it's a slap in the face to the people who pour out their heart to investigators to ensure that this man don't get bail. The fear that he instilled in them. A lot of people right now are telling you, a lot of people right now are making preparation not to stay where they're currently staying and move someplace else because this man is out on bail. And how vindictive he could be in the position that he holds and the connection that he has. 718-701-5720, guys. I want to hear the voices on the live. I want to hear the voices on the live. Let me make sure the phone lines are working. All right. I saw someone was calling me on the WhatsApp. Guys, if you could call me direct on the phone line, 718-701-5720, and let us have this conversation right here. Serious situation. Let me bring you guys up to speed again. This is what happened. We got wind of another incident that happened in Trenchtown over the weekend, where a man, he doesn't live in that area. I believe that they said he from either St. David's or that area, came in there. Apparently he was messing with a 12-13-year-old girl over a period of time, and the people in Trenchtown, they wasn't having it. From what we heard, that they waited for the man and they planned for the man, and when he came in to do whatever he was planning to do with the little girl, the people of Trenchtown had their time with him. That vigilante justice, we don't encourage and we don't promote this vigilante justice. But when people keep seeing that the law is not working for them, is not protecting their children, some people will get frustrated. Some people will get frustrated because this what they're seeing right here. This what is happening right now is just showing them that the law is not working. The laws is not working for our children, and it has not been working for our children. This will continue and continue and continue unless lawmakers take this thing more seriously. It will continue. It will continue. And I have to look deeper into the case because, again, this just happened today, right? I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to understand the evidence and how the evidence is presented, because I am very concerned, and I think a lot of people are very concerned again. I'm hoping and praying that investigators are doing their due diligence and ensuring that they have the case, because somebody could be guilty, but under technicalities and failure to present certain evidence, at the end of the day, he could walk free. We might say, well, the judge this and the judge that, or the defense attorney this, but if the prosecution doesn't have an organized case and present a case, it's very possible that Mr. Bell could walk free. It's very possible that Bell could walk free. So I'm just hoping that they have their thing intact. Alright, Lydia James is saying that the best thing to do, the best thing that could ever happen, anyone must follow suit now, and they must, and well, that ever happen. Everyone must follow suit now. Listen, we're not preaching vigilante justice, right? We're not advocating for vigilante justice. But people are getting frustrated. People are getting frustrated, like what happened in Trenchtown. People, unless they don't see that the laws are protecting their children, people go start doing things like that. Because who feels it knows it, eh? Who feels it knows it. Some mothers, some fathers that have the 9-year-old, 10-year-old child, in this case here, this Hermitage bus conductor, 4-year-old child, and you're watching a situation like that, and then you come and tell me that he molested the 4-year-old child, and then you will make him walk free again? That go frustrate people. Who feels it knows it. I don't know if some people don't feel and see and understand, like they don't have kids. But what I can tell you guys right now is that a lot of people are very frustrated over what happened here today. A lot of people are vexed. A lot of people are frustrated. A lot of people are angry.
Survivor. I will survive. I will survive.
718-701-5720, guys. We're bringing you guys up to speed on what transpired here today. Bail was granted bail in the sum of $150,000. He has to report to the St. David's police station once a week on a Wednesday, and he asks not to make any contact with the victim or any close family member whatsoever. He's due to appear back in court sometime in October. One thing I didn't hear mentioned is if he's going to be admitted back to work. That's a question that we didn't, well, that's something that we didn't hear, but it's a question that need to ask. Caller, you live, where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from Miami.
Miami, go right ahead.
And this is beyond appalling. It's sad, but it also shows the socioeconomic difference in Grenada. It's not even just Grenada, it's the Caribbean.
Right.
Money talks and, bullshit walks. This man and as his lawyer is so privy to let everyone know there's a big man. And that alone lets us know that whatever we think is going to happen is not going to happen. And for the victims, because I'm going to say plural, we only know of a few. And those few that spoke out took so long to speak out because I'm sure this perpetrator let them know nobody's going to believe you. And if somebody does hear you, nothing's going to happen to me because of who I am.
Yeah.
And here we go.
Yeah.
So the multitude of others that are behind these few that found the courage will not speak up, unfortunately, because now this man is free. What is checking into the police station once a week at a specific time? What happened to the other 6 days out of the week? Those 24 hours. What does that do for me as a victim? And I don't understand that. I don't understand the judge. I don't understand the lawyer. I don't understand these people. And these lawyers are big lawyers with girls, children, daughters. How do you tell your daughter that?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It is. You can't tell me business is business. It's not business. It's business when lives are at stake. This man turns around and he kills somebody, like somebody mentioned in the comments, the little girl 2 years ago. Somebody saw something and didn't report it. Because, again, like you said, it is something within our culture, unfortunately.
Yes.
Where everybody stays quiet. They see something off. They notice something, but no, we're going to keep it hush-hush in the family. Nobody speaks up. Nobody defends these defenseless kids. And then they're lost.
Yeah.
And then here we have a cycle. It creates a cycle.
Those
kids make kids. And in turn, those same kids become abused, And it's an ongoing cycle because nobody saves anybody.
Yes.
They're all lost. And I'm sorry, as a
and
parent, I have two daughters,
yes.
and I will go and sit in that jail comfortably. I'm sorry, comfortably. I will not be changing a lock. You on bail? Me too. And it's not vigilante justice; it's justice.
Yeah. Here is
That's all I have to say.
here is the very concerning part of all of this, right? Because I say money talk and bullshit walk, I rightfully said. Now, the other story that we reported of James Robert, the 26-year-old bus conductor of
There we
Hermitage,
go.
St. Patrick, he
Hmm.
was charged in indecent assault against a minor, one charge. However, he was not granted bail.
Okay.
One charge, as far as what they say here, one charge. He was not granted bail, he was remanded. Here we
He's
have
a bus.
Lawrence Bell,
He-
18 charges.
okay.
Incest, indecent assault, sexual assault, 18 charges. However, he was granted bail. I don't
It's
understand. I don't
scary.
understand it.
It's scary. And in itself, 18-1, it's still the same charge. It's one is just as grievous as the other, but it shows economics.
Yeah.
This is a little black boy from the country, and this is a big man in town. I'm sorry, high color, Junior, light skin, high color, and he got a little name, and here we go. He knows people, $150,000 bail. There are some Grenadians right now that can't afford a $40 grocery bill.
Yeah. Yeah.
It shows you, and they have no qualm with showing that money does talk. Every day, all this is pure no
Yeah.
good.
It's a sad situation right here, and the contrast of the bus conductor and the pharmacist supervisor, and he has assault, and it's bad, and we're not saying that it's minor. It's bad and it's very serious what he did, and he is actually going to be on our Hall of Shame as well. Nevertheless, you know, it just shows the contrast in our economic system. But we'll
Listen,
talk a little
I
bit.
live in a community
Yeah.
with where they have pedophiles. They have to live a certain amount of feet away from the schools, from the parks, all that stuff. And the parents find out that a pedophile lives close by. A poster is placed around the neighborhood with your picture and a warning sign for if a child didn't know. You stay away from this person. You stay away from this house. You stay away from this address. This is danger. This is what needs to start happening. The blast on Facebook every now and then from that women's group is awesome, yes. But no, put it up. All that protesting, we're going to go protest in front of your house. We're going to make you as uncomfortable as you made these young kids uncomfortable.
Yeah.
We're going to plaster your picture in that also awesome big man in his neighborhood, in his community. We're going to plaster that picture in that community, in that grocery store, all about on each and every Grand Lake light pole. Plaster that picture because they feel like they're untouchable. So I'm going to touch you this way. Every time you turn around, you're going to see your picture in front of the police station where he got to go check in on a Wednesday. Some mothers need to be standing outside.
Yeah.
We see you. And I'm going to point you out to my daughter. You see that man right there? That's the devil.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, caller. Appreciate you. Thanks for calling.
Thank you.
Putting your voice on file. 718-701-5720. Let's talk about this, guys. This is serious, and the contrast of this particular case again. 718-701-5720, guys. We're talking about this case that happened, that transpired. We broke the story just last week. Lawrence Bell was arrested and charged 18 counts.
This time, son.
We have incest, sexual assault.
Son, I'm a survivor.
Yet he was granted bail today in the sum of $150,000. Caller, you live. Where you calling us from?
Hi, Junior. I'm calling from Grenada.
Go right ahead, caller.
Okay. What I really want to find out, well, I shouldn't say messed up, but Bell is on bail. Is he been released in the same community as where he have committed this act or so?
Well, allegedly committed the act as far as they say. I don't hear anything about him moving out of the community. I heard that they said somewhere that he had to surrender travel documents. I heard that they said that he have to go into the police station every Wednesday at a certain time. I heard they said that he has to stay away from the victim and anyone else closely related to the victim and their family. I don't hear anything about saying that he would move to another village. But Grenada is so small. Grenada is a village by itself.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Even though he have to stay away from the victim and her relatives, I'm quite sure that they are all within the same circle.
Yeah.
That brings me back to like 2018 when some party in St. Patrick's, where my nephew's daughter, she was like 8 at that time. And a young man, he had molested her. Her mom was in the kitchen and she was in the living room, and the guy accustomed coming around there and stuff, and the mom said like she wasn't hearing the child, and the next thing she heard the child keep saying behave. And when she looked out, the child was running to her and said, Mom, well, look, wherever her name, I will not call his name, touch her. They went to the police station, they brought the child to the police station. The police went and then they said like, oh, the guy is now like quite stable in his head. So my nephew kind of hot-tempered. He met the guy. Well, I don't really condone vigilante justice as well, but he gave the guy some blows and they end up arresting my nephew. And nothing ever came out of that. That is why what happened in Trenchtown day before morning.
Yeah.
I'm not really supporting it, but I mean, that is what I think that is how Grenada is going to come now, because if people is not getting justice from the court system, they will take it into their own hands.
Yeah.
I think that is what will happen. So what if that will bail and whatever? What if the child relative now decide to deal with him? What will happen to them? They will be going and sit in Richmond Hill?
Yeah, well, they would. That's ultimately what would happen. That's,
and who should be blamed for that? Isn't it the magistrate? Well, I shouldn't say the magistrate, but the law, because they say his 18 counts are available, and the bus conductor have 1 count and he's on remand.
Yeah. The optics just doesn't look good.
This just isn't fair.
The optics doesn't look good at all. The optics doesn't look good.
This just isn't fair, and I'm very emotional about these things on them.
Yeah.
Honestly. Anyway, have a good night and continue doing your good work.
Thank you, caller. 718-701-5720. We're talking about this case right here involving Bell. 18 charges today. We found out that he was sent out on bail, $150,000. I did not hear anything about him moving to another village. I did not hear anything about him not going to work. I didn't hear anything about that. I'm not even sure what the decision that they took for his employment, as it relates to his employment. So all we know, he could go back to his job. I don't know. They haven't said anything about it, but who knows? They haven't included that in the information that they presented. Could go back out to work tomorrow and do his regular thing, right? Because that's where he is. He is out. He's a free man. And although there are 18 charges, serious charges. Even his lawyer said knows and understand that the charges are serious. Serious charges against him. This is not telling the next person who potentially might do something like that not to do this. This is almost inviting people to commit these crimes. Caller, live, where are you calling us from?
Hi, Junior.
Hi, caller, how are you? Where are you calling us from?
From Brooklyn.
Brooklyn, New York. Go right ahead.
Yes. Junior, I want to know, do you know if there's a law in Grenada where you can petition the government or the courts? Because these laws need to be changed. It really, I can, while we all are outraged, I think this is the law.
Yeah.
Whereas I think sometimes they might be favoring some people and not. We have the same thing happening here in the United States.
Yeah.
When you have money, you can get away with murder. It's how wealthy you are. It's how much money you have.
True.
It's the type of lawyers that you can secure. If you can secure the best of the best,
Yeah.
you will get away with this. And I won't be surprised if this guy get away with this. I would not be surprised.
I won't be
Because he has the
surprised either.
means.
I would not be
No.
surprised
I would
either.
not. No. His lawyer already let people know who he is. So I would not be surprised at all. I think that Grenadians have to get out there, get people to sign a petition, take it to the department, the Ministry of Social Services, put it on his or her desk, and let her know that, okay, we're not going to sit here and take this. We're going to change the law.
Yeah.
The law needs to be changed.
So that's what I'm saying, caller. When the politician come and they standing on the podium and they saying all these different things, I think we need to
Yeah.
trade votes for our children's
Yeah.
future. If you
Yeah.
not gonna write laws or enact laws to protect my child, I don't voting for you.
I'm not voting for you.
That is what
Because when
that
you
is what it
vote,
is.
What are you doing?
That is what it
Yeah.
is. Because
Yeah.
it's the future. You are literally damaging. You're literally shooting yourself in the foot. You're shooting yourself in the
Yeah.
leg.
These kids are the future of the country. And when you go out there and you damage them like this, who's going to run the country?
I don't know if they don't understand
Because-
that.
Who's going to run the country? You know, this is ridiculous. I'm so outraged. I am so outraged about this.
Not you alone.
18
I mean,
counts,
18 counts.
18 counts.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't know how high the bail should go, but this man, his bail should be set to a point where he cannot afford bail, where he
Mhm.
can't afford it. All the laws will have to be changed. They really need to change the law in this country. They need to.
Yeah.
They need
Yeah.
to. I can
Absolutely.
understand the reason why he's out there, because the law is the law. And his high-powered lawyers can fight this,
Yeah.
and then they would lose the case. So, in as much as we all are outraged that he's out there, he has the right.
Yeah.
He has the right to be out there.
And you know,
Yeah.
we can't even be mad at the magistrate, eh? I can't be mad at the magistrate.
No,
You
because
can't be mad
they're
at the
going
magistrate.
according to the law.
Yes.
Yeah.
What is presented? What is
What is
presented?
presented.
Because if the prosecution present a convincing evidence to state why
Yeah.
this man should not get bail, I was told that some of the
No.
victims submitted information that clearly indicated that they are fearful for their life if this man was to come out. But that
It's
that
money.
fell on deaf ear, or it wasn't presented. I
Yeah.
don't know what
Maybe
happened
it
there.
wasn't presented well.
I don't understand.
Her parents, they would need to find themselves a really good lawyer. They would need to. They would need to find themselves a good lawyer, because this guy is going to walk. He will. I can see it. He's going to walk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you,
And
caller. Yeah, go ahead.
someone or some member of a family is going to go to jail if this happens.
Wow.
Someone is going to go to jail. Yeah.
Thank you, caller. We appreciate your input. We really appreciate your input.
You're
and
welcome.
Thanks for supporting. Yeah. Thank you. 717015720, guys. We are talking about this incident here, and as I said, someone brought this up to my attention yesterday about what happened in Trenchtown, and we don't want to see this type of things happening, because I was told that this person was chapped and he's in the hospital right now. He was beaten up. The whole community, like the whole of Trenchtown, came out behind that man. Police came there and even scared of police. Trenchtown people came out and they say, not this one. They're not making another Trenchtown little girl a statistic. You know, we don't promote that. We're not saying that this is what should happen. But absent of strong laws to protect the children, people go protect the children themselves. If the state, if the laws are not protecting the children, if the laws are not doing what it's supposed to do, like making all this different incest and sexual assault bailable, people go take it on their own self to protect. I see one man, and again, I don't promote them thing on them. I just saying what I see, what people are doing. I see people say they start showing the cutlass and all kind of thing already. They say if anybody come close to their daughter or their child, they don't want to hear no more. We don't want that, but in absence of action, people go take action into their own hands. And that's what we don't want. We don't want to see that. So why can't we get this right? A lot of talk, everybody talking, and when they're talking, it's like they're talking about the wrong things. They're talking about yes, and it's right. Nobody want to expose victims. How about we talk? How about when they talk more about what we need to do to protect the victims so that they're not a victim in the first damn place. How about that? Instead of they coming on television and showing subliminal word for ride along and telling us how we, by posting this story, we somehow was inadvertently exposing victims, how about action is taken so that we don't have these victims in the first place? Right? How about that? How about they start talking about being proactive about this situation instead of reactive? What we're doing is what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to protect. They're supposed to investigate. 718-701-5720. We're still taking your call. We're here for until we're going to leave at the bottom of the hour at 9:30. But in the meantime, I want you guys' voice on this topic right here. We're following this lead. Very, very, very angry community as Lawrence Bell, 18 charges, was given $150,000 bail today. He's a free man. He's a free man. He's a free man. He's back out wherever he is. He's probably sleeping very comfortable tonight, while some of his victims are scared and shaken and shaken up because of the potential risk that they're exposed to now that he's out on bail. Because his lawyer said it, the man is a big man in the community. Yeah, he's a big man in the community. He is a big man in the community with a lot of big connections. 718-701-5720, guys. We're taking your call and reaction to this story. The folks on YouTube, thank you so much. And again, AKA Star Apple, you on point. Because if we look at what has been transpiring, what has been happening over the years, we see what these lax laws and this hands-off approach has been doing to our children. Our young Ariel Bola, her mother, she would never forget this. This is her child, her little child that was taken away from her. Because a wannabe perpetrator, pedophile, did the unimaginable. This man right here, earlier today, as I said, his name is going to be echoed because James Roberts, at this point we don't have his picture, but as soon as I get his picture, I'll let you guys know who he is. James Roberts, a 26-year-old bus conductor from Hermitage St. Patrick's, has been charged for indecent assault against a 4-year-old minor. Think about how his mother feeling, how her mother feeling right now, knowing that her child would never be right again. Her child that her child is basically, you could say, she needs a lot of counseling for the rest of her life. She didn't ask for that. The young 4-year-old never asked for that. I heard this young 4-year-old right now has even been hospitalized after this craziness. She never asked for that. She never asked to be in that situation. But when they turn on the TV and they see that a man like Lawrence Bell allegedly, well, charged 18 charges, and why this thing is not playing? Oh, there we go. Yeah, 18 charges, and essentially walking free. He's out there. He's out there. He's out there. And this kind of crimes on them, let me tell you, this kind of crimes on them, especially when it have to do with, they're saying allegations of drug use, right? You need toxicology report, you need evidence, you need all this evidence in order to bring these charges. And now you basically give the man the opportunity to go back and cover up all the tracks. That's essentially what is done. Because did they take any toxicology report? Did they even have a search warrant? I don't know if they did. But did they have a search warrant to go into his home and search his property and see if there's actually drugs there? Because that's one of the claim. That's one of the alleged claim. That's one of the allegations against him. That's one of the allegations. Did they get a toxicology report? All of these things, it basically gave the man the opportunity to come back and clean up his tracks. And worse yet, what if not him directly, but his cronies that are around him started sending threats of sorts, or bribe, if you want to call it that, over to the victims. And the victims all of a sudden started to catch amnesia. All of a sudden the victims started to catch amnesia. Oh, they don't forget, they don't remember this thing never happened again. And that's quite possible, you know. It's very possible that we could soon be getting a whole bunch of victims with amnesia over this case here. Victims that saying, boy, I had said that it happened, but it didn't really happen how I said it happened. I think I was mistaken, but it didn't happen quite like that. All of a sudden, you know what happens there? You know what happens there, right? The case have to get thrown out, because how could you have a charge if the victim, who the alleged victim, is denying that it even happened in the first place? So guys, this is deep. This is deep, and it's problematic. It is very, very problematic. The truth and the fact is, we cannot sit here and be upset at the judge. I'm not even upset at Clouden. You can't be upset at Clouden. Clouden is doing his job. Clouden is a defense attorney. That's what he does. His job is to find all the problems, all the things that the prosecutors supposed to do, but then do, to make a win, to put this one in his win column. I don't matter, Clouden. He's doing his job. I wouldn't do. I can't be a defense attorney. I cannot do what he does. But that's what he does. You can't be mad at the judge. You can't be mad at the lawyer. They are doing their job. I'm just hoping and praying that the prosecution is presenting a well-informed and well-investigated case, because based on what we're hearing and the strong allegation that and the supporting information that we have to back up this information, this man, it doesn't look good. And it's a serious case, as his lawyer said. This could land him in jail for something from 14 to 30 something years if found guilty under these charges. So everybody go try to wiggle yourself out of that. Nobody wants to go and stay in jail for 14 to 20 something years. So everybody, the favors, the people, the connections, gonna start to work. Yeah, that's what you call connections. And we're not saying that we're hoping that it happen. We're hoping and praying that it doesn't happen. But by opening up this extra avenue, by granting bail for these kind of charges, all kind of matchy could go on, ratchy fee. It opens up the opportunity for all kind of ratchy fee to happen. These cases, these charges should not be bailable. It should not. It should start from there. So, the Minister of Legal Affairs, my good friend, Kendra Maturin Stewart, my good friend, I hope that you would, we could come on and we could chat a little bit. My good Carriacou constituent friend. Alright? Me and she real cool. We jump up a jab a couple of years ago in Carriacou. We had a good time. So I would like to speak to Kendra. I would like to speak to the minister. Come on and let's talk about it. And why is it, or is it so difficult to change the laws to make these cases, these charges? Abi just came straight into the ride. Abi just came straight into the ride, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. What needs to be done to ensure that these charges are not bailable? And we have to start there. The politicians and them need to put their foot down. And if you're serious about child care, if you're serious about our children, if you're serious about the future generation, you will take some serious steps to ensuring that this happens. 718-701-5720. We have about 7 minutes on the live, but let me sum it up again for you guys. That we're learning earlier today that Lawrence Bell, convicted of charge 18 charges, including incest, sexual assault. He was granted bail today in the sum of $150,000. He walked free today under the condition that he is to report to the St. David police station every Wednesday at a particular time, probably 6 p.m. or whatever. He is not to make any connections with the victims or the close family members. Right? He's not to make any sort of connections with them. And we shall see. At the same time, I got multiple calls today after the family learned of this bail, and they're asking to help them protect themselves. Right? So during the earlier part of the day, I made some calls to my internal peoples that I know in the RGPF that are very close to me to be on the lookout, because these people, they are not sleeping tonight with their eyes closed. They feel that there will be a level of vindication. This man would come back at them in some kind of way. The man would try something. Some of them are scared, so they request that they have some extra security, because they say the man is vindictive and they're scared. They're not sleeping good tonight. The victims and their family are very, very scared tonight, and I understand. I completely understand why they should be, because they know the kind of person that they're dealing with. They know the kind of person that they're dealing with. At the same time, they feel that their story was ignored by the court. They felt like all these hours and time that it took for them to transcribe all these things that happened to them, all these things, they felt like they was given back a slap in the face. They feel insulted that their story was not heard because it wasn't taken into consideration. They felt like they had to be scared while this person is just free to walk and do whatever he's supposed to do and he wants to do. And the lawyer is saying that it was a victory for them. And I mean, in his perspective, I guess it is a victory for them, for him. But it's not a victory. I don't see this as a victory for any community. I don't see this as a victory for anybody. Grenada is a community. Grenada is a small community. Grenada could fit this county that I live in. Grenada could fit inside there about 15 times. Grenada is a community. Everybody know everybody. It's a small place. So when people think that they're living in a glass house and this type of thing won't reach them, they're living in a sad reality. Nobody living in a glass house. This type of things is happening, whether it happened in St. David, or whether it happened in Grenville, whether it happened in Tongue, it's a small community. We all have our nieces and nephews, brothers and sisters, family members walking about the place all the time. What we going to tell our children now? What you going to tell your child now? Yeah? What would you tell your kids now? Is another burden that you put on parents, because parents have to boost up the security to protect their little boy, to protect the little girl children. Because as I said, this is not one victim. I know they're making, they pointing a lot of information towards that one person, but it is more than one person. It is a lot of individuals, a lot of young people involved in this, and a lot of them transcribe their stories. They transcribe their stories, and they didn't feel like they was heard. Take a last call, 718-701-5720. Let's take last call on this, and we're gonna wrap it up until tomorrow. Tomorrow, you know, we're doing the right trivia, and I do expect to have some artists on the right trivia tomorrow. So we'll see how that rolls out tomorrow. But let's get your voice on this, guys. 718-701-5720. This is happening all over. This is happening all over, guys. We learned of this story from the bus conductor in Hermitage, and the gruesomeness in what he did to this 4-year-old child. We learned of this wannabe pedophile who came all the way from St. David's DC, came down to Trenchtown to allegedly molest this little girl. The people of Trenchtown decided that they wasn't going to have it. They wasn't going to have it, and that child would not have been a statistic. And we heard that like that. That's ongoing. That's what he been doing for a long period of time. The people of Trenchtown, as far as what we heard from the story, they came out. The whole community came out, and they say, no, sir, that ain't gonna happen around here. And they dealt with the situation jungle justice kind of style. And we don't promote that, but I'm just telling you that's what happened in Trenchtown, right? We learn of this story here with the bus conductor, and we learn of this other businessman that been doing it. Yo, this thing is rampant. And the reason why is because they know those are bailable offense. When a 12-year-old girl come, you take a piece and man, you get out of jail in no time. Or you're not doing it. It's like a culture. It's like amongst this hierarchy of people, it's like a culture. What? Yeah, man, that nothing, that small thing, and plus, when they say plus, I know the judge ain't gonna do you nothing, because the law, they gotta follow the law. Worst of all, hear what they gonna say? The media ain't gonna put you on blast, you know, because it's the law. They can't put you on blast, because why would they put you on blast? They go expose the victim. So you getting away scotch-free. Nobody ain't gonna know about it. Why take a piece? That is the message that they transcribing, you know. Essentially, that is the message, you know. What they gonna show you? Nah, they ain't gonna show your face. What they gonna show your face for? How they gonna show your face? How they gonna show your face? Because if they show your face, you know what gonna happen. If they show your face, they go say, well, the ministers and them go come, and the police, the people and them in the police department, RGPF will come and say, well, you shouldn't show the face because it would identify the victim, and we shouldn't do that. So nah, the police and then go take care of that. They go talk about that, and we go take care of that. The ministers and then go come and they go inside the parliament and they go say, well, we don't want people to post certain things on social media. That's them when they go inside there. They're not talking about the main problem, you know. They're talking about us. They're talking about what we're doing. When they forget, right, about identifying victims, it was the RGPF website who posts Lawrence Bell name before we post the name, you know. It was the RGPF who identified Lawrence Bell, you know. When we post, we never say Lawrence Bell. We said, we blur the picture. We said the man from the southeast part of the island. It was them. It was the RGPF website who initially posted the man name. Worse yet, they forget the prep work. After they charged them, everybody had to walk into the court where there's a lot of cameras, they're videotaping, people taking pictures, newspaper taking pictures. So essentially, the perpetrator face would be posted anyway. But they ain't gonna talk about that. They ain't gonna talk about that because they manipulated already. But listen, that is a story for a whole other day. That is a story for a whole other day. But they forget. Them drug men and them, from the minute time they say go and they have a piece of weed or they have a piece of something, the first thing you post them up, you put up the picture big and bold. Yeah? You put up the picture. But they ain't talking about that. They ain't talking about that. Everybody a victim. Everybody a victim. Because even them drug man and them, when they sell the crack or they sell the thing, and we're not supporting that. We're not supporting use of controlled substances, so don't get me wrong. But what I'm saying is, even them drug men and them, they have victims. People who does buy from them big men and them who does buy from them, the people who buy from them and they using, they have victim and they could be identified just the same, but the picture does be blasted. Nevertheless, the picture does be out there, first and foremost. Hey, I think what really needs to be done before anybody come out and start to drill us or grill us on posting the information of these pedophiles, they should come out and talk about how, they need to talk to the population about stop victimizing the victim. That's what they should be talking about in Parliament. What they should be talking about in Parliament is stop victimizing the victim, and how about we put laws so that we don't have those victims in the first place, so that the perpetrators of these crimes would think twice about doing it. Now they ain't gonna talk about that. They ain't gonna talk about that. Instead, they're wasting their time throwing subliminal words at we posting a story to save lives, to save people, to save children. That is what they want to talk about. That is what they want to talk about. Let me go back. I saw us. That is what they want to talk about. That is what they want to talk about. So if you go talk about what we supposed to do, how about you start talking about what you supposed to do, right? You, the government of the day, you have all the seats. So that means you don't have an opposition. You could go in there tomorrow and say, you know what? Bam, 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 bam. Change that. Done with that. Fix that. Upgrade that. You have the power to do it, you know. They have the power to do it, you know. They have the power to introduce these things and make it go through, you know, because, hey, what position you get for that? And what's here? Think about if anybody oppose what laws to protect children. Are you crazy? But they ain't thinking about that. That is not at the top of the agenda. That is not what they want to talk about. They want to talk about we posting stories. Essentially, the stories will be posted anyway, because when they walk down into the courthouse, cameras all over the place, people taking live all over the place, taking them walking into the court, putting their picture up all over the place. So that ain't exposing them. Unless if you want to fly them on a helicopter Drop them on top of the court and let it walk down to the vent of the thing so nobody could see them. But anyhow you put it, you post the name, somebody go post the picture. Because you're walking them into court. That will happen. So that's crap. I saw that story that came out the other day and it was laughable. It was funny. You know, it was funny. It was funny. I don't know if you guys saw the story that I'm talking about. It was funny. It was funny that the police officer actually took her time and tried to articulate about the posting of this thing is identifying the victim. And I am not in support of identifying any victim. What I'm in support of is stopping the victim from being continuously victimized. Because if we didn't post it, the victim would have probably still be being victimized up to this goddamn day because the investigation was not being done. He was arrested via minutes, hours after we broke the story. So how you throwing, how is it that they throwing word? Because we are actually saving the community from these pedophiles. Talking about how we should stop sharing and what the information that you share subliminally sending some kind of, you know, some kind of word back to us. I mean, they could have called me and tell me that. They didn't have to go on GBN. They could have called, they could have come on the show. I'm still open. I mean, I'm still open to have this conversation. But I'm just saying that you have the perp walk where they walk down to the court. The perpetrator walk down and everybody taking picture of them. Everybody taking picture of them. Even them dog on the street and them looking at them in the face and saying, shame on you. Yeah, the dog on them does do that. Everybody seeing their face. Everybody seeing their face. It's more important that we sit and talk about not victimizing the victims. Let's talk about not victimizing the victims now. Let us have a serious conversation about not victimizing. Do a symposium, Jed. Do a freaking sit in parliament and talk about, no, we should not victimize the victims. Because, and let's try to change the culture of victimizing the victims. Because anyhow you put it, again, unless all you and dropping the perpetrator and them from a helicopter and let them come down to a vent to the courthouse or they just suck you and sit down right down inside the courthouse and nobody go see them, they will be seen. The picture will be taken and the picture will be posted. That would happen. That would happen. But before there is a victim, we need to stop. We need to stop that there is no victim in the first place. Instead of being reactive to the case, let's be proactive about it. So, shame on all of them. Shame on all of them. And I hope they don't let us down in this case, people. I hope they don't let us down in this case here. I'm hoping and praying that the investigators are really doing the toxicology report and they're doing the investigation really thorough. I hope and pray that they did in fact get a search warrant. Hold on, let me check and see if I ain't get a text yet from yeah, I was just looking and see, because oftentimes one thing that I'm very sure of is that I'm positive that we do have the attention of the people who needs to make changes, because they does make the change quick, right? So I know that they're watching and they're paying attention to what's happening. So here's what I want to tell them. Honorable Delma Thomas, you're my good friend. But I think that your focus really need to be more proactive than reactive to these situations. And I know you care a lot about these situations. Honorable Delma Thomas is one of the person I could say have real passion for this thing. I remember speaking to her after the Ariel Bola thing, and she was very overwhelmed, and I could see it came from a genuinely good place. It came from a good place. right? But you need to do more. You need to do a little bit more. You need to do a lot more. And all the ministers and them who come out and they're passionate to talk about our children, all you are failing the children. Or you are failing the children. Because you are the lawmakers. That is your job. That is your responsibility. You are the lawmakers, right? You are the people who pen and propose legislation and chalala chalala, you know. Yeah, that's what you guys do. And if there are legislation that have loopholes or that allow for situations like what happened today to happen, you have to take it. You have to take the blame. You have to take the blame. It's you, right? The buck stop over by all you. So what you do? You change legislation. You change you make amendments. Yeah, you make amendments to ensure that these things are not bailable, because people go start getting vigilante about their children. Because if the law can't protect them, who will protect them? The police ain't gonna protect them, because the law don't support the police. The police could only act and think from the law. The police they basically they follow the law. What the law say? Yeah, the police just follow the law. What the law say, you know? You remember? Hold on. Yeah, Lydia. Well, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Even friend or no friend, I just talk my mind. I don't really have to put my mouth in a bag to tell them how I feel. You know, and that is facts. I was telling all you, this is how it works. Remember when that police officer, right before the pandemic, this guy was wearing a mask, right? And this police officer tell him to take off the mask because he's masquerading and he shouldn't be masquerading, and he arrest him for wearing a mask. Because on the books, you can't wear a mask. That was on the book. But now, during the pandemic, they changed the law. They say you could wear a mask. In fact, they say if you don't wear a mask, you could get arrested, you could get ticketed for wearing a mask. So here we have a perfect example. The lawmakers, they saw that it was necessary to enact legislation for people to wear masks. All they did, you know what they do? Because I'm sure they wasn't having active session in Parliament, so they went on Zoom. They called all the parliamentarians in and they said, listen, we're going to change the law. I know right now on the books it says that people not supposed to wear masks. People shouldn't wear masks. Just take away, it says not supposed to, and put have to and must wear a mask in public places. And they go and they just type it out, they press backspace, and they take out that word, and there we go. It's the law. And it's the law. If police catch you not wearing a mask, you get ticketed. So it's that easy to change the law. So why haven't you changed the law to protect the kids? And this is a pandemic. This is a pandemic. This is a pandemic. Why? Anyway, guys, I talk until my voice get hoarse. And I still want to do a show tomorrow, because I have more talking to do. So I'm done for tonight. And next week they're taking it out again. Yeah. It's so easy. It's so easy to amend the law. It's so easy to change the law. But they choose not to. And the question that we're asking is why? 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 Do they love the kids? Based on what we've seen here. Is that love? Is that admiration? Is that consideration? Nah. 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 It's not. Anyway, guys, we go start a campaign. I'm gonna start a campaign, and the campaign is gonna be about protecting our children, but it's not going to be the wishy-washy kind of protecting our children campaign. You know, people just start up them thing on them and they only do it for the time, and they do some t-shirt and they sell some t-shirt, and then when time for them to actually do something, they sell the t-shirt and you don't know what happened to the money that they sell the t-shirt with. I ain't in that kind of Mickey Mouse kind of thing that some people are get involved in. We ain't into the Mickey Mouse, right? We're not into the Mickey Mouse. I will start a serious campaign to lobby politicians, right? And it will be a trade. It will be a trade. If politicians do not plan to get into power and enact legislation to protect our children, you're not getting our vote. Simple like that. If you plan, in fact, I want to see your whole agenda. I want to see where your priorities are, right? Human resource is the main priority, and kids are human, and that's that's the resource. So human resource. If you don't have the resource, you can't do nothing. You can't run banks. You don't know nothing about agriculture. You know nothing about foreign. Nothing could exist without human resource. But you're damaging the most important resource, which is human resource themselves. The kids, you're damaging them. So I go start a campaign. Not a Mickey Mouse campaign, as I say. I don't want no Mickey Mouse people involved in it. And this is not, again, this is not a print your short, jump in a bandwagon kind of thing. If you're not gonna have that as a priority, you're not getting our votes. We're not supporting you. In fact, we'll go through every legislator that did not, or unwilling or unable to propose legislation to protect and to change these laws to make human resource the top priority. And if you object to any laws that protect the children and take off these offenses and make these offenses unbailable, if you voted against it, or if you don't support it, we'll just put you up as well. We'll let people know where your position is and where your loyalty lies. All right, that's where it is. That's where it is. The children of our future. If you're serious about our children, then you go do whatever you need to do to protect them. That's all I go say, guys. I'm losing my voice. I'll catch you guys again tomorrow, right along live at Right Trivia, 6 p.m. tomorrow. I want to play this song for you guys. It's a new song. Well, it's not a new song, but I'm liking this song. It has nothing to do with the topic that we're speaking about here, but I want to play it for you guys before I go, so you guys could dance out in a new kind of vibe. Let me see if I could pull it up. So I could pull it up and play it for you guys. Hopefully I could find it. Oh man. Hopefully I could find it. I should have queued it up. That's what I should have done.
Yeah.
That's what I should have done. I should have queued it up.
You gotta be firm in this time, son. You gotta be strong in this time, son. I'm a survivor. I will survive. I will survive. And I'm a
I got it. There it is. Alright. Alright guys, this song is slowly becoming my favorite song. I want you guys to listen to it. This song is slowly becoming my favorite, one of my favorite songs. So I want you guys to listen to this song. Alright, anyway. Good night everybody. Check out my slowly becoming favorite song. This one is called Kuchi Dongo. You have a real nice kind of African kind of vibe. Check this out. This one is from Dion Blaze. Check it out. See you guys tomorrow. Bye bye.
Sing like a Vito. If I tell you I love you, tell me what you going to do. If you are the oxygen I need to survive, I can't live without you. Oh baby, with your body, come tease my body. Daddy daddy da tum tum da daddy. Stuck on you, I don't need nobody. Daddy daddy da 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 daddy da. Ain't nothing better than you, because I got my eyes on you. Ain't nothing better than you, because you make my days brand new. Oh yo, make a dance, but you don't go. Oh, you don't go. Oh yo, make a dance, but you don't go. Oh, you don't go. Oh yo, make a dance, but you don't go. Oh, yeah, you don't go. Make a dance, but you don't go, chindu. Oh, yeah, you don't go. All I want is the best, of course. Give me that thing, come wine and pass. The way you mess on me mind, oh, I'm gonna love you today, not tomorrow. Some people they say D&O it's got to my brain, oh yeah. But loving you, oh, is all I wanna do, oh. You make me groove to the sound of the bass line. Whoa, to the bass line. Give me the groove, baby, wine, check my waistline. Whoa, check my waistline. Oh yo, make a dance, coochie don't go. Oh, itchy don't go. Oh yo, make a dance, coochie don't go. Oh, itchy don't go. Oh yo, make a dance, coochie don't go. Oh, itchy don't go. Make a dance, coochie don't go, chindu. Oh, itchy don't go. Like a Vito, if I tell you I love you, tell me what you going to do. If you are the oxygen I need to survive, I can't live without you. It's a special kind of feeling where you are running, baby. Special type of a vibe, and I feel like dancing, cause you don't go. Oh yeah, ain't nothing better than you, because I got my eyes on you. Ain't nothing better than you, for you make my days brand new. Oh yeah, make a dance, coochie don't go. Oh, itchy don't go. Oh yo, make a dance, coochie don't go. Oh, itchy don't go. Oh yo, make a dance, coochie don't go. Oh, yeah, itchy don't go. Make a dance, coochie don't go, chindu. Oh, yeah, itchy don't go. Oh yo, make a dance, coochie don't go. Oh, itchy don't go. Oh yo, make a dance, coochie don't go. Oh, itchy don't go. Oh yo, make a dance, coochie don't go. Oh, yeah.